Happy Tuesday. Tonight we will be continuing on the Granny Squares quilt tonight, so thank you again for joining us. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. It is a time that we can relax and craft together. It's live, so you guys can join in the chat and let me know how your project is going. We typically work on projects from beginning to end. This year we've divided up our weeks for different projects, so we're working on 4 different projects so far. The first full week of the month is all about the Granny Squares quilt. This is for American Patchwork and Quilting. It's by Lissa Alexander, and isn't it just pretty? It looks like it's patchwork, but it really isn't. We're doing it with strips of fabric. We have piles and piles of strips made up here, so we are all organized. We have 2 more sized strips to cut, which we'll do tonight. I think it's going to go super fast. I think we might get sewing tonight. I'm really hoping that we might be able to actually sew, which would be amazing since we have sewn nothing for this project yet. And I want to get these blocks going. I read over the instructions before we got on here tonight, and I think I have a handle on it. And I think after cutting all these, I think we're going to be able to pump these out like nothing. I'm stoked. So hopefully we'll be able to go through that process a little bit tonight too. But first we got to get cutting, so let's do that. I'm going to flip you guys around in a moment here. Again, the embroidery of the month this month around is the Bumblebee Embroidery. We do have about 18 or so of the bundles left, so they won't last till the end of the month. So be sure to grab one of those in the link below if you want to do that. That's week 3. We will be stitching that live, so there's time for you to get the bundle before we start stitching, and I think it's just going to be really fun and cute. So all right, you guys, let's get cutting. I do want to try and sew tonight yet. All right, so these are all the strips we cut last night. And again, you guys, I am not going to be around for the rest of the week because it is koala week. I will be headed to my parents' house, and we will be sewing up the koala quilt/quilts out of all of the koalas that you guys sent me in the mail. So I am just over the moon excited about that. And I'll be live probably Thursday in the evening. Probably not tomorrow, but on Thursday I'll give you kind of a tour of where we're at with the project so you can see the koalas. And I also have a little video, you guys, of all the koalas so far, so I will post that. I'll probably post that a little bit later tonight yet, so you guys can see if your koala popped up in there. All right, guys, all we have left is 36 14-inch strips and then 90 10-inch strips. But let's start with those 14-inch ones. So we can get a whole pile of, I'm going to just leave this whole thing out now and we'll just kind of grab and go. But these are our full width of fabric strips yet. So I think I'm going to put the fold to my right. So this is folded in half. I think I'm going to put the fold on the right. We will trim the fold off, cut our 14 inches. That'll be 28. Oh, I don't think we'll have enough for 10 inches left. So I think this one will just be 14 inches. But I should only need, if I stack them with 3, that will be 6 each. So I should only need 6 rows of 3, and then we should have enough for the 14 inches. And I think the 10-inch ones will get cut really quickly as well. We'll have to do a couple rounds of cutting with that one, but I'm excited. I think this will go quick. Yeah, I don't think there'll be enough because 14 and 14, that's 28. And if it's mostly like 42-inch or so wide fabric, I don't think that's enough for us to get it all. And I'm just kind of grabbing colors here again. I'm going slightly over that first fold. So again, I think I need 6 of these and stacks of 3, because then we'll have 6 times 6, that's 36. And that is all we need. And then we just need to do that a couple times for the 10-inch ones, and we'll be done in no time here. Like I said, I do think we might actually be able to cut these tonight, or I mean start sewing tonight. That'd be cool. So I'm just laying out, I don't know why I'm doing it differently than last night, but I'm just laying out 6, and then I don't know why. Let's just go, let's do the 2 on top of each of these so that we know that we have our 3 in each. So there's going to be quite a bit of extra fabric, and I think it'll be kind of fun to sew together later. We'll have all these little strips. Some will be bigger strips, some will be little strips, but they'll all be like this 1.5 inch or so. So I don't know, we'll have to make a pillow, or maybe it'll be a little bit of the back of the quilt. I kind of lately have been liking using up all the fabric in some way in the quilts. So we'll see how that goes. Oh man, I really hope that we can get sewing tonight. Maybe we'll stay a little later just to sew a little bit. I'm gonna have to sew on the steampunk sewing machine, since my normal sewing machine, that those presser or the feed dogs still stay down, so I haven't resolved that yet. I just haven't gotten it to the fix-it guy yet. I'm just kind of randomly grabbing fabric here. A lot of it will repeat my fabric because we started with a pretty limited palette. Oh, you hope to use various gray fat quarters for your lights. Oh, see that? I think that will work. Yeah, I may just have to cut some at a time. See, that's the thing. So the funny thing with this quilt, I guess it's not a funny thing, but you know, from the looks of it, it looks like it's all a bunch of little squares patchworked together, but it really isn't. It starts as just these full width of fabric strips, so you really needed to start off the bolt. So it wasn't made to be done with like fat quarters. However, some of the smaller strips, like, you know, we're going to cut up 10-inch strips. You know, these are 14-inch strips. So obviously some of those you could use fat quarters. It is just the large, the big outside rings that won't use fat quarters. You need the full length. Otherwise, you got to just sew a few fat quarters together. Fat quarters is a quarter yard cut. It's a yard, like a full yard like this, but cut in quarters this way instead of cut in quarters this way. So that's called a fat quarter. All right, this should be it. So we'll get 6 cuts out of each of these because they're layered in half, and we put 3. So 3 actually equals 6. So 6 times 6 should get our 36 awfully quick here. And then, like I said, we don't have enough. You know, actually, I could have cut the selvage off and then had enough for 10 inches on the fold side, wouldn't I have? All right, so I'm actually thinking about that now. We could get, I might have just messed this up. So why don't I get, let's see, I should be able to get, okay, 28 and 38. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to get some 10 inches out of here too. So I'm going to scooch these all on the fold. This was silly. I should have done this. So I'm going to cut 5 inches off. Then I'll have a bunch of 10-inch ones already. I'll have 36 10-inch ones right away. And then there'll still be enough room to cut 14 inches off of these. And we'll still have our 36 14-inch ones. We'll just have a pile of 10-inch ones right away too. And again, I don't think it has to be totally perfect because I think these will get trimmed down quite a bit. So 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we got the thinking cap on. Oh, we want a 36. We'll have 12 because these will get unfolded. Or not 12, 18, half of 36. All right, so there we go. These are all 10-inch strips. They'll have a big fold in the middle, but I think that's okay. Now let's do our 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14. Perfect. Now we're not wasting as much fabric. Let's count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, we're good. Okay. Get our scraps out of here. Don't need those. All right, and this should be our 36 14 inchers. 6 times 6. We're still doing 6 times 6. So let's make a bag for these. We're done with those 14-inch ones. Now we're just dealing with the rest of our 10-inch ones. Let's get a bag going. Here we are. I knew I had some bags left. So many bags. Okay, these are 1.5 inch by 14 inches. We have 36 in here. Soon we're going to line up all of these bags and we're just going to randomly pull out of them and sew. I think that's how I'm going to treat this, just randomly pulling. So I might actually just shuffle these up, like not have them so lined up so perfect. But for now, we're just going to go like that. Now I need 90 10-inch ones, and I do believe I have some already. So let's find that. So these are all the ones that we did yesterday. We have 35-inch, 28, 21, 7 inches. Oh, here's our 10-inch one. So this is we have 2 out of our 90 already. I'm going to just leave that on top, and we should have 18 more. I'm going to just undo these all because they are on the fold. Exactly, we're scooting along. I'm hoping we can actually start sewing today, Nolene. We just need these 10 inchers and then we're done. So 3, that's only 3. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8, 9. I suppose I didn't have to unfold all these, but that's okay. Might as well gotta do it sometime. 10, 11. I'm gonna stack them in 10s. So that was 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we actually have the 2 in here already, so we have 20 so far. All right, I'm going to just stick these to the side. So we have 20, we need 70 more. Okay, so I think, let's see what one of these looks like. So we'll have, we could actually cut on the fold again. So we could do, let's see, we could do 10, 20, 30, 40. Actually, we'll probably, I'm going to cut off the fold this time. So we should be able to get 4 out of each of these. So let's mix them up a little bit more. We're gonna have a lot of strips left over, I think. Okay, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is actually 8. This will be 8 right here. All right, so we're going to be able to get 12 out of each of these cuts, so that's quite a bit. So that's awesome. So gosh, we really hardly need any here. Let's make sure we use the colors we want. I want to use some of these blues some more. We're going to have to... Oh, you know what? There's the border yet, you guys. So a lot of these, we have so many strips left over because they're going to go in the border. So that's fine. That's good to know at least. Gosh, this one I might not have. This one's a little short. The short ones I'm going to leave to the side for now. That one I don't think we would have gotten all 10 out of there. Okay, 1, 2. Three. So this is another 12. This is 24. Oh, the 10 strips go in the border, not the blocks? Oh, Lucy, okay, so we're cutting for the border already. All right, interesting. So, so we will have a lot of strips left over, won't we? Oh, well, that's fine. We'll figure out, they'll go in the back or something. All right, this was, what, 12, 24, 36. Yeah, 12 in each. 36. So we'll get 72 if we do another row of 3. So we just have to do the 6 again, and then we'll have everything that we need. Gosh, then we'll be done cutting. Ha-ha! So I am going to try and use one of these short ones. I'm just going to try and match up the end a little bit more. I think we'll just barely get our 40 or our 20 inches out of here. It'll have a little selvage, but I think we'll be okay. I just would like to get that fabric in there yet. This pretty blue again. This is that color that we started this whole process with, the color of the year. I do like these solid blues. We'll get more of those in here. So 3, and we just have 1 more to do, and then that'll be it. Crazy. Gosh, I can't believe we're going to be totally done cutting. Oh my gosh, Ashley, the weather has been gorgeous, and it was actually pretty breezy today, but, you know, we're pushing 40s here, and I think it's supposed to get a lot higher over this week. So it's feeling good. It's feeling like spring is nigh. Sunny and relatively warm. Relatively is the key word there, but it's good. I'm with you, Terry. All right. So this should get us 72, which, and all we need is 70, so we're good to go here. Dang, yeah, man, these little blocks are going to be easy. Okay, check the instructions for cutting. It is 10 inches, and we need 90 of them. So far, so good. All right, we're just trimming that fold off. A little off camera there. There, we cut off all the fold ends. Okay, now let's get our first 10 inches. I gotta count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Makes sense that it would be on the 13. Oh, you just got a bunch of snow. I just really hope that I don't end up with more snow here, but... So I do have a lot of extra strips, but if this is really for the border, I suspect it's because we did a pretty good job of using other strips to like, you know, like I had it on that fold there, right? So not everyone might have used that fold for an extra 10-inch. So other people might not have been as like conservatively cutting as I've been. So I think those strips probably are extra in case you used a new strip for each type of cut. I suspect that is why. Oh, weird. It says that you're only 13. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. All right, I think we're on this 3 mark here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and we are a little bit on the selvage of this one, so I think that might be the one that I get rid of. I'm gonna keep it in. So we're gonna have an extra 2 in the 10-inch one, but I'm gonna just mark that down and leave it. That we'll have extra. All right, but this should be this should be 72, and then we have the 20. So we should be good to go. Just to double check, yeah, this has 6. So 12. Yep, this should be. So this is 36, and then 72. Yep, this is it. We got them all. So man, that went really, really, really quickly. So we're done. This is it for cutting. So there is a whole 36 minutes that we can sew. Okay, and I'm excited. I did read ahead, so I do think I have a handle on that. Let's just finish organizing this, and I'm gonna get the sewing machine out here. We'll organize the next bit. We'll check off our progress. All right, so I'm gonna write down, need a total of 90. That's still there. I'm gonna write a check mark off there, and current, I'm going to say 92, so I know that I have 2 extra. I'm actually going to literally write 2 extra, just so there's clearly no mistake, even though I'm just stating the obvious, but, you know, stating the obvious is good, especially since I'm not going to look at this for another month, really. And then, you know, here's our original... This was our original bag of just strips, and look, we do have loads of strips left, which is kind of crazy. I'm going to just count them quick so I know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gosh, we do have a lot extra. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we actually have 14 left over. I'm going to write 14 extra. And so we'll be able to use this, I don't know, somewhere else if we need it later. Or if we totally mess up, then we will have extras. And again, I think I only have these extras because I cut those, I cut like, you know, in various parts of this, like I was able to get the 7-inch strips out of other pieces, and I was able to get the 10-inch strips out of other pieces. Not everyone might have done that, so that's why there's probably a few extra. So if you didn't manage to get a few extra out of ones you've already cut with the bigger strips, if you didn't think about that didn't occur to you during the process, there probably is a few extra here. Actually, we might have cut a few extra too. So either or, there's extra. I'm going to check this off. I'm going to check this off. We are totally done cutting. All right, so I have read through this next process, and what I'm going to actually do is line up the rows that I need. I'm going to bring the sewing machine over here though first. Let's just go one at a time. Let's clean up a little. All right, this guy can go completely out of our way. We don't need this at all. One thing we are going to need, look, here's the giant bin again. So here's all our extra fabric from this project. So all our extra, this could end up being the back of the quilt or something. I'm going to just leave it within the project for a while. We'll eventually need these middle squares. And the other thing we need, what was this for? Done with this fabric. Oh, we're done with this fabric. Okay, silly. So here's more freaking fabric. So here's excess too. I guess I've just kept it all in here. We do need those 35-inch colorful strips. There we go. We need these. We need our original border, inner color. We need the 35-inch strips of those. I think that's really all we need from here for now. The rest is for something else. Oh, here's some 10-inch strips. So again, that must be, like you said, for the border. I suspect I don't need any more of these. Okay, so strips for inner border. Don't need that. So we're ready for that. Sashing rectangles. I don't think we need those for now. Strips for outer border. Nope, no border stuff. Strips for sashing. No, thank you. These 1 3/4 inch squares. I kind of don't think we need these till later either. But I'll put them on top in case we do. Alright, so don't need this fabric. And we don't need this fabric. And we don't need this fabric. 1 1/2 inch squares. I don't think we need this right now either. Oh, whoops! I had a thing of 7-inch strips here already. So we have a few extra 7-inch strips. Already getting unorganized. All right, so this I don't need anymore. Cutting board I do not need anymore. And I think let's just pull the sewing machine over here. Here's all my kind of little scraps. I'm going to put those behind me for now, just so they're out of my way. They are pretty though. We'll have to sew all these together. All right, and let's slide this guy over. So here's my steampunk, I suppose, sewing machine. That's what we've been calling it. All right, so that's here. Move these rulers out of the way. All right, so all we need now is we need to kind of get these in order. So here's the plan. What we're going to do is definitely when you are looking through the instructions, be sure that you are looking at the diagram, which is right here at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to be a little confusing. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just keep this diagram open, but I have read the instructions, so I am going to kind of go with what the instructions say. But we want a 35-inch piece and another 35-inch piece. So it's the brown here. Anytime we have this brown strip, that represents our background fabric, or like our main fabric, and that's this blue. I'm using that blue. So I need to match one of these with, I need to find it, the 35-inch the 35-inch strip of the random one. So that's where we're starting. So I'm going to grab, I'm just going to pull one out of here. And again, I'm not going to press or anything yet. I am going to start heating up the iron though, because we are going to use that. So I need one of my outside colors and then just any one of these. And I'm going to be pretty random with this. So I'm just going to kind of put my hand in and pull it out and see what I get. I'm literally not looking at the bag right now. All right, so we're going to start off with a white. And I don't mind if this gets totally scraggly and I'm actually going to on purpose do that because I'm going to be pretty random here. So, all right, let's do those two. So now we're going to do one block. So this is the start of block number 1. We're going to go through the process here. I don't know how far we'll get, but I'm going to get as far as I can here. All right, so step number 1 is I'm going to sew one of these strips to one of these strips. So right sides together. Oh gosh, how'd that get so much wider? Oh, because these are 1 3/4 inches. That makes sense. So these are a little bit wider. Gosh, let me double check. That seems odd, but I think that's correct. Sew together a brown. Yep, 1 3/4 inches. So yes, so this outside one is a little wider. So don't freak out if you're like, why are these aren't the same like I just did? It's meant to be that way. We have extra quarter inch here. Oh, check my bobbin. So this is that bobbin that we changed a little while ago. I'm hoping it will get us through the night here. But this is actually the sewing machine that I'll bring home to work on the koalas with. So I will have to wind some more bobbin and everything, but I'm hoping I can get through it tonight without having to do that. And I think I'm set up here. I just got to remove a little fabric here. All right, let's go. All right, perfect. Ooh, and I should get. Oh, my little leaders aren't near me, so actually they're close enough. I'm going to grab those quick. There we go. This is the perfect. Here's my basket of leaders. This is the perfect type of project to get a pile of these done as well. All right, we're sewing 2 pieces together. Process has started. Oh gosh, actually I don't really know where my quarter inch is here. We could line up our. Let's do that quick. So I know this is a little extra time. I think maybe I can do that with the fabric on here still. I'm just gonna lay. This is my Perkins dry goods. It's my perfectly piecing seam guide. So there's a little hole here, and this should be 1/4 inch away. So what you do is you put it, put your needle down through it, through that hole. There we go. So the needle's going through, and I'm just trying to kind of get this straight, this line. And I happen to have a magnet here. There, so I'm going to just throw this. Oop, jeez, this is a really strong magnet. I'm going to put that magnet about right here, and that's going to be my 1/4 inch. I'm going to butt up my my fabric against that 1/4 inch, and I'm actually just making a mental note that it's about like a 32nd of an inch away from this edge. So I just have that visual in my head. But there we go. Helpful little tool. Oh, you use that tool all the time? Yeah, it's a really good notion to have. It's good to get it out every once in a while, especially when you're working on a machine that you're not as familiar with as your normal machine. But there, so it's a little bit over the edge here, and I'm just lining it up with this magnet down here. This sewing machine sounds like a lawnmower. It smells like one a little bit too. It's got a hardcore motor going. Let's see how we're doing here. I think we're looking good. So there is a nice bit of the instructions that I'm like, ooh, that's a good touch. So in these instructions, you don't have to press these long pieces, because pressing long pieces like this can get pretty annoying. We are never actually pressing these long pieces, and that'll make sense in a bit here. So in theory, you could do every block all at once. You wouldn't have to do just one full block and then do the next full block. I could actually take 36 of these strips and sew them to 36 of these strips before moving on to the next step. And maybe we'll do that at some point, but for now, for tonight at least, I want to just do the one, like try and do some of the parts for one block. We have at least 20 minutes yet that we can play with this. Up here. My basket of liters is getting awfully full. Gosh, it's definitely time to cut more. Wow, I barely have any left in here, really. This is all I've left. Maybe I'll bring maybe I'll bring that home to cut a few more of these, because I'll want to use them on the koala quilt too. Do I have more than one piece here? No, it felt kind of thick, but I think we're fine. All right, I need to get a little scissors out here. I haven't. So Tracy's asking if the wool pressing mats warp, and I have not had that experience yet. And actually thinking about it, I'm not sure how they would, because you could always just like get them wet and dry them again, I would think. Ooh, this is where it got weird, I think. I think we're fine now though. All right, next up we are going to do some pressing, or not pressing quite yet, we're going to cut. So we have this weird piece right here, right? So I'm going to actually cut a 7-inch piece out of it right now, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to actually just kind of finger press this up a little bit. I got my 7-inch mark here, and I'm going to just get my ruler and a mat, and we're going to trim that. And this doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to be trimming this down. We actually only need, I think, 6 inches of this once we're done. So this can be a pretty rough cut. Like, you don't have to worry too much that we didn't press or anything yet. So 7 inches, we are trimming off of this. I'm going to do a little much here. Okay. There we go. So that is our first little piece. So I'm going to set this big one aside. So we've cut 7 inches off of this. So I think now we should be closer to that 28-inch mark, which is our next strip size. But now, okay, we press this piece, and I can't remember what way we press it. Press away from the brown tone. So in this case, the brown tone is our blue. So let's just shimmy this over here. So pressing away from the blue, so that means towards the whatever comes after the blue. So I'm going to put that color on top. Yes, this quilt does have some serious cutting, but I think we are beyond that cutting point now, Leslie. Now we get the fun part. However, that's going to involve cutting right now, but still. We're to the fun part now, I think. All right, we're pressing away from that blue. All right, until we have a nice little unit there. And now we cross-cut this, like we chop it up like this into 1.5 inch bits. And we only need 4. So ultimately that's 6 inches that we need. So I'm going to just... Now I'm going to try and be a little bit more perfect. So I'm going to line up that edge. I'm going to give it a nice trim here. I'm really lining up the edge here as well. Now that we're ironed or pressed, get my little glove back on. And these are going to be 1.5 inches. Double check. Yep. All right. Scooch over. Oh, wiggle a little. Oh, I'm wiggling. Oh well. That's one. And I suppose I'd probably be a little bit more accurate if I use the 2-ruler method, or really what I should be doing to be a little bit more accurate is I shouldn't use the mat to cut. I should be really focusing on my ruler cut. So I just rotated this around. And now I'm going to use the ruler's 1.5 inch. There we go. So now I'm using this line. Now I'm going to be a bit more accurate, I think. Got to get into the groove of it all again. But there is excess. So like I said, we cut 7 inches off and we really only needed 6 inches. So we're going to have a bit extra. So they're taking care of us with this quilt to make mistakes, which is nice. Yeah, see, so this little bit is excess. So there we are. Here are our first little units. So I'm going to just set those aside. And next up, we are back to this guy. And next we are going to, so we've done this. Now we're going to add a strip on here. So we are going to add a 28-inch strip on. So now we've cut off that 7 inches. We're graduating to the 28-inch strip. So now here's where you could decide, oh, I want to go light and dark and light and dark. I'm going to be random. So again, unless it's the exact same fabric or if it's so close, like if it's another white one, I'll probably switch it out. But in general, I'm going to try and be a bit random. And actually, this guy just, well, here, I pulled this one out. Let's use him. Those look cute together. All right, and we are literally just sewing this on onto this color. So this one's always going to be our background fabric. We're never going to sew onto that one. We're always going to sew onto the mixed fabric one. So we're just matching these guys up and sewing another strip together. And then it's basically the same process. We're going to cut off 7 inches like what we did before and press them away from our background fabric, which is brown in the instructions, and it's my teal blue here. And we're going to just keep doing that for a little bit. And then we just have to reassemble all these when we're done. I might not get, oh shoot. Oh no, we're fine. I thought my bobbin went out, but we're fine. It was just nice, super clean stitches. That's the nice thing about these old machines. Like, they're just pretty hardcore. I think we're looking fine. Yeah, gosh, they just look wrong. But there, it's going. Oh, you love the little elephant? I know, I like that guy too. Little elephant guy. Oh, so this kind of looks like the front of the fabric, but it actually is the, I have the right sides together here. So I just kind of line things up and then move it along a little bit. Oh, Robin, this machine's growing on me for sure. Well, and I'm going to use it a lot more this weekend because, again, I'm going to be doing the koalas all sewn on this. So my mom's going to use her machine, and I'm going to use this machine, and I'm hoping we can, be teaming up on the sewing. or someone will be cutting and someone else will be sewing. I don't quite know yet. All right, I'm gonna get, I think the leader from this side still needs another row on it. It really does sound like a lawnmower. Okay. All right, you guys, so we're still not ironing this, but I am going to trim off that 7 inches, just like what we did before. And again, I'm going to open it up, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to do the side that's kind of straighter here. The other side, all the strips are a little bit different, so I'm just kind of letting this side all run off at different lengths. Okay, I roughly cut 7 inches. I say roughly cut because without it being pressed, it's not going to be great. It's not going to be a great, nice straight cut, but it'll be good enough. Okay, so again, our piece is getting shorter here. We're gonna sew an even shorter piece to it next, the 21-inch piece. So I'm gonna set that aside. But now we got this guy again. So I'm gonna press away from the blue or the background fabric, whatever yours is in this case. So I'm just gonna kind of lay it down, face down, and the right side down, and just press that seam away. And now here we're just going to cut 4 more 1.5-inch pieces off of. So we're basically making these units, but 1 more piece added to it each time. So this is what I think was so clever about this quilt. So when I originally saw this quilt, I immediately really liked it because it was just pretty, and it, reminded me of granny squares from crochet, so I just loved it. And then when I read the instructions after I got the pattern, I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of doing this. And I just really liked it. So in theory, this should be 1 inch, but I don't know how well my cutting is going. So I'm just going to trim it again, and then I'm going to rotate it around and use my ruler. That is the perfect straight edge. This edge is actually pretty nice right now, but we'll just make it even nicer. All right, now I'm going to rotate that around. So Gretchen says, oh wow, people have done amazing granny blocks. They have. So you guys be sure to check out the Penguin and Fish Crafters group and join up. I think you have to join now to see everything, but people have been posting their granny square blocks, and they're just so fun and beautiful, and they're all looking just incredible. But see what I'm saying? Like, we could have done these for every single block first. However, I do kind of want to keep them with the same block because I don't want to mix some other blocks of these because I might have a blue and then a different color, and then it wouldn't have the same effect. So we do kind of want to keep each block together. So maybe it is good to just do them one at a time versus sewing all the 35 inches together and cutting them all, and then sewing all the 28 ones. And so I think maybe one at a time will do the job. We'll see. If you're doing it the other way, like sewing every 35-inch piece all at once first, let me know how that process is going. There we go. Oh, it's looking cute. So here's our next row. So I think in theory, these will be sewn together like this eventually. And then, and then we rotate it 90 degrees, and then we get like the start of all our little borders. So like, here's the start of our blue border, and then here's the start of the white border, and then, that one will go. So we're going to eventually sew all these layers together. So I'm gonna just put them next to each other. Ooh, let's have all the blues at the top like that. Okay, next up, back to our chunk that we're sewing together here. Now we need the 21-inch piece. So this is fun. We're gonna totally get a portion of this done, I think. I might not do the final assembly of it, but I think we'll have the pieces. We'll be able to actually visualize it, I think. All right, I gotta find this 21-inch. Here we go. So again, if you want, you could go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, but I'm gonna try and be random again. Unless I pick the exact same one or something so close, like a white one next to a white one. But in general, like I'm literally closing my eyes here. I'm just kind of shuffling this around. Let's do whatever this one is. Oh, another white one. All right, that's fine. I wanted a lot of white in this quilt, so that is definitely okay that we have another white one. I'm actively trying not to be picky. Not to be too picky. Because I could easily be like, oh, that's just too much contrast going from super light to super dark to super light. But you know what? Not everyone is going to end up like that. They're all going to be different. So I'm trying not to judge. Right sides together. And I've still not ironed this piece, so that's pretty clever too. They're not, the designer Lissa Alexander, she's not making us press these super long pieces. We get to wait till we have the smaller pieces before we need to press. So that's a nice touch. Because pressing all these long strips would have been a bit difficult. Not difficult, just not super enjoyable. Unless you're one of those people who loves pressing, and I know there's some of you. I've still not mastered the zen-ness of pressing. I think I might be sewing these a little too, like my 1/4 inch might be a little bit big, but we're gonna just deal and see how it goes. Oh, I need a leader here. Let's grab 2 more pieces. I'm definitely gonna run out of these. Gosh, we might have a whole quilt made out of leaders by the time we're done with this. That'd be a treat. Definitely gonna need to cut more of these soon. This is all out of old clothing and blankets. My leaders. All right, so there we are. Same deal. Now we are going to cut off. We're going to cut off another 7 inches from here. So that's what's nice about this part is you don't really have to think. It's the same every single time. We're just continuing to cut those 7 inches off. And we're not even measuring, or I mean, we're not even pressing again. It's that rough 7 inches. I'm still trying to line it up at the edge here because I don't want to waste it. There we are. That's true, as long as I sew it all on the same machine, and if I'm consistent, then I might not have to worry about that 1/4 inch so much. Ooh, look at our chunk is getting shorter. Fun. All right, let's press this again and cut it to our smaller units. So it's still the same. We're still pressing away from our outside piece. So remember not to attach any other piece except for that first one to the outside piece on accident. All right, I'm going to flip that around, give it another press, get those seams all nice. Fun, fun. wiggly, but I'm okay with that. All right, 1.5 inches again. I'm gonna trim the one side super nice again, and then we'll rotate and get our 1.5 inches. So how many more do we have to, I think I have to sew 2 more to this. Oh, so we're getting kind of close to the end here. I do kind of want to do the other pieces. So I might stay a little longer tonight, you guys, because I would like to at least see what these pieces look like together. And I have 2 more to sew onto this, I think. So I might do, something's obviously funny. Could you guys hear that? John's laughing in the background. I might just stay on to get one of these. I'm so excited that we're actually sewing though tonight. I was not sure we'd get this far, but then I was kind of figuring, oh wait, for those 10-inch strips, we just have to do that really big, or like really quickly. Oh, I missed one of you guys' comments on how to do something here. Ooh, I think I'm getting a little crooked, but oh well. All right, let's stack this up. I was tempted to just lay them out again, but I do want to see if I can sew another one. All right, next up, I'm assuming this is the 14-inch piece. Yep, 14-inch piece. Gotta find those. Here we are. So I'm gonna pick randomly from here again. Hopefully we don't end up with the same piece. All right, I'm kind of grabbing this guy here. He's not separating. Oh, it's the same thing. That would be why. Oh yeah, because we had kind of like the doubled up pieces. All right, so we got that pretty blue. That'll look nice. And this is, oh, it's going on the white. So we do kind of have like a blue, white look to this. I don't think the whole thing, I think the whole thing might be a little bit more mixed when we're done. Not so high contrasty like this, but again, that's just how the cookie crumbled this way around. Oh, Robin, that sounds interesting. You'll have to share a pic of that in a group. All right, get started. Not sure this magnet is actually helping me. I'm kind of just looking at the. I suppose it's fine. Ooh, I think this might be our last piece that we're sewing here, though. Let's use this leader. Because I think we just have the 7-inch, 2 7-inch pieces here. Uh-oh. Oh no! So we're just out of we are out of bobbin like this much. Oh, let's see if we can get by. Let's see if we have enough extra to do that. Shoot. Oh, we need to sew on one more piece too, don't we? Well, that might be it. Then we'll cut our 7-inch piece off of here. But I think that might be the kicker of us not getting any more sewn tonight. Well, it had to happen at some point. So when I'm by at my parents' house, I'll have to get more bobbin in there. But we can take a look at it, kind of where we're at. So let's get this fiber done. Yep, we needed to finish sewing that one and then sew one more on here. This looks like I don't have that much left though. And we should have like 7 inches left. So I think I might be cutting it a bit much. I'm going to cut this one a little bit shy, just so I have enough over here. Yeah, it's making me nervous. So there we go. I'm going to just cut it a little shy. I know I only need 6 inches, so this is plenty extra. Yeah, poor little guy. Yeah, definitely wasn't much on the bobbin, but I was hoping. I mean, this is actually farther than I thought we'd get tonight, so I'm happy. But we'll definitely be able to get a peek at what this will look like. We can make like a smaller, what a smaller one would kind of look like after we trim this. We can get our little center square out and peek at what that would look like too. All that will be different is that I need one more row on here, really, to make the granny square as big as we want it. But you could really just do the 5 rows, I think, and then have a smaller granny square if you didn't want to do the 6 tall one. Just make a 5 tall one. Poor bobbin. I think I was just using whatever was on the bobbin, like whatever thread was already on there too. So it's probably time to get some nice new bobbin thread on there. Especially because we're going to be stitching those koalas and I want that to be the nice thread. All right, yep, I will grab one of my center squares because the center square I'm doing in that bright pink. The center squares I'm doing different from the rest of this kind of blue and white. A little bit of green. We didn't get any green in this block, but we do have quite a bit of green in this quilt. And that will just all blend together once we get going here. So let's give this a try. Let's set this up. So again, it'll be a little bit smaller block because I still have that last piece. You know, I need to sew another piece onto here. But let's get our center square. So we cut these. We had to figure this out beforehand, how these would work. But let me grab one of those. So let's just peek at the instructions again. So the idea is now we kind of stack them up. And then our last piece in the middle. So we're going to we'll stack 4 of them together, and then these will be our center pieces. So let's just, I'm just going to try and wiggle this out quick. And I think it would actually be, yeah, I think this will actually be diagonal, so I'll just rotate it quick when we're done here. But then this guy will go in the middle. Oh, it's going to look good. All right, let's see if I can figure this out. This is going to be a little confusing to me. All right, so this guy will go, yeah, I guess like this, right? 1, 2, 3. And they're not lining up quite right because, you know, the seam allowance will determine some of that. Okay, and then, but you guys can kind of get the effect here. We're starting to see our shapes. So we would sew together these chunks first, like these middle chunks. So, I mean, it's a little awkward how I'm doing it here, but ultimately the order that you sew it in will help. Wait, is this right? I think I'm doing this weird. I think these were supposed to go outwards too. I don't know, I'm doing something awkward here, but let's just leave it for now. We'll get close to the idea. I literally have to visualize this differently. So we're actually sewing these pieces together like this, and then we're kind of putting it in the middle. There, oh, maybe I was doing it right. Again, once this sews together and we lose our seam allowances, it's going to make a lot more sense. Ah, but look at it, it's cute. Like this should be scooched down a little bit. They should all be overlapping just a hair. That's where I'm going wrong. There we go. So, and then we're sewing it together like this, but then we actually rotate it 45 degrees like that, and then we can cut it out, and there you can kind of see the granny square look of it. So this is like one of these granny square bits. So it's coming together. I mean, once we lose these seam allowances, and like I said, we do actually need one more row, but even one row shy, you can still get that same granny square effect. So this will actually be one row larger when we're done, but it's so pretty. I'm really excited about this, and just that one little pink. This is the only time we're using pink in this block. So with all these with all these blues and a little bit of green that we'll have, and then white, and then the pop of pink in the middle, I think it's just going to be just awesome. I'm stoked. Yeah, so I'll put these in nice piles again, and I'm going to have to label everything really well, because we won't be back onto this project until April, if you can believe it. So the first week in April, we'll be back on this, but we are in production town now. Now we are going to just crank out these blocks, assuming I have bobbin thread. So we're doing it now. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around. All right, I am so pleased with how far we got on that tonight. Last night I was thinking we would just be cutting some more, but dang, we got a visual of what this is actually going to be like. I'm super stoked, and this will have that one extra row, which will just make it even more textured and layered with color. So I'm excited. So thank you guys again for coming, joining me tonight. Just a reminder, this is the last one that I'll be doing this week. I may come in on, I probably won't be on tomorrow because I'll be traveling still, but on Thursday I will come on around the same time, hopefully, our normal time, and I'll give you like a short little tour of where we're at with the koala quilt/quilts. We're going to be laying it all out, and I'm hoping that by Thursday evening we got some ideas of what we're doing, at least, because I'm hoping to get these koala quilts done in just a couple days, which is asking a lot for a quilt. But awesome. I will definitely keep you guys updated, and I'll do a live, and we're going to be shooting video as well while I'm there, so we'll edit together a fun little video. And hopefully I'll see Chad, and I'll get to show you Chad. All right, Chad the kitty. And thanks again, guys. I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and I will see you in a couple days. Have a nice evening. Good night.